This room is a trim carpenter's dream. There's all sorts of things going on with moldings. One of the biggest attention getters in here is going to be this frame and panel wainscot that you see. This trim detail is created by putting together a frame, nailing some plywood on the back side of the frame, and then fitting moldings inside here. Now, that gives a great depth relief and it's a wonderful look. But there's another way that you can create a look that's a pretty good look with less work, and it's actually what we're going to do underneath this window where we've stepped out to create the detail for the sill. What I want to do is take some moldings and just cut them into rectangles and place them on the surface of this. It's not exactly the same look as the frame and panel construction, but it's really a good look and a lot less work. And this type of detailing you can use in a lot of places around the house. You could put it on the end of a cabinet if you have cabinets that have a flat plywood panel. And one of the places in remodeling that has tremendous potential is think about how many just flush slab doors there are around that don't have any interesting detail. You can take rectangles of molding, nail them together, and put them on a flush slab door, and you get the look of a panel door without having to replace the door. Now I've cut all these moldings, and what I'm going to do is just the same as we've done in a lot of other details. Put a little glue in the joint, nail them together. Then I'm going to use this spacer to maintain the correct distance up off my baseboard detail. I've already marked the distance over to the corner of where the panels are going to fit. Now, one of the things that's important when you think about doing a detail like this, to make it look right, you need a molding that is fairly thin on both edges. You know, if you look at this piece, it's thin on this edge and it's thin on this edge. If you have a molding that has a real big bulky edge right here, it's really not going to work out as well. Okay, we put a little bit of glue on the back of the frame, and now we're going to stick it in place and nail it with the headless pins. I'm using a spacer to keep it the right distance up off the baseboard. Now that looks a whole lot better than just a flat piece of plywood. It doesn't matter whether you're running crown mold around the top of a cabinet or around the outside corner of the sheetrock in a room. The corners always need a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of pulling in place, and a headless pinner is a great tool for that. Yeah, it's really important this profile line up exactly, so I'm going to lift it up to where it matches and then put a few headless pins in there. It really allows me to get a great looking joint without having a bunch of big holes in there. And if this were MDF crown, it'd be especially important because, again, MDF just doesn't receive nails in the thin edge very well.